Today we are going to be hand engraving some accents, some scroll work onto a 1911 slide. Mind you, the engraving that's on it currently was through a laser, and then we're adding the hand engraved touch. So this is more so kind of like a hybrid engraving. And if you hear me say down boy, it's because my dog's with me in the shop today. Go lay down. Lay down, buddy. Lay down. 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 So, aside from that, guys, thank you for joining me. We're going to be attempting to hopefully get one side of this done right now. So let me go ahead and show you what we've got working with today. This is La Ultima Cena. And as you can see, we've got the hand engraved, or we got the hand drawn out designs here, as well as right here, and then back here as well. So the hand engraving, the designs in actually gives it a little bit more personal touch, and obviously increases the value a little bit more than just having a laser product. But aside from that, it also lets me cut some very nice, bright cuts into the slide itself. Make sure that I've got the right engraver in, which I do not. I've got the stipler. And if you're just joining me and you've never been on my channel, I am a engraver, and I do both laser and hand engraving. I started out with laser and found that laser just wasn't tickling my fancy when it came to creating art, and I just didn't feel like I was being an artist. I felt like I was being more of a, truthfully, like a CNC machinist, which there's nothing wrong with being a CNC machinist, but between learning how to program a computer to do my job, or to do a human's job, and creating a piece of art, I found more satisfaction in hand engraving. So today, that's what we'll be doing. Robert, thank you, appreciate it. All right, let's see where we're gonna start today. I think we're gonna start right on this side right here. Got the rotating table going. Now what we want to do is we want to create something called a bright cut, or a bright flare cut. This is a flare scroll that we're going to be doing. Flare scroll is a very unique type of scroll in the manner of it's fairly simple to do once you get the hang of it, but it is insanely awesome when it comes to the brightness and the look of it. You basically have to create a V in the metal itself. Robert, yes, it is. It is the final. It is the Last Supper. So, La Ultima Cena, as I call it in Spanish. So let's see. Let's make sure we're set. Okay, our engraver is nice and sharp. Wrapped it around my hand. Let us start cutting into Sorry guys, it's a little loose with the leather attachments on there to not ding up the slide. So it's slipping a little bit, so I'm just trying to make sure that it's nice and secure at the end of the day. Again, guys, I did not hand engrave the Last Supper portion. I'm not quite good enough at sculpting yet to really feel comfortable enough to go in. I did design it. It's just not a hand cut portion. I used the laser for that one. And then we're going in with a hand cutter and we're cutting in all the scroll work because I do feel confident enough in being able to do that with my skill level. I am not a master engraver yet by any means, so I've still got probably a decade or two before I become that. With that being said, I absolutely love hand engraving and the way it just looks. All right. Let's see where we're at, guys. Diego, man, I was in my 30s by the time I started this. I've been drawing since I was a kid, so I was already an artist in that manner. So the drawing portion hasn't been super hard. But if you have any inclination of like being able to draw anything, you can honestly pick this up pretty quickly. I will admit, I picked it up a little faster than some people do, and not faster than some other people. So there's some prodigies out there, and maybe you might be one of them. So as far as tools go, man, you just need a graver. You need to be able to sharpen this. You'll notice throughout my lives that I actually sharpen this bit quite a bit. It's common to have to sharpen it just because it has to stay mirror shine. So if you can see that, that's a mirror polished right there. If this isn't mirror polished, it won't transfer onto here, and pretty soon you have a really jacked up look. So if I were you, I'd look at Sam Alfano. He's a great engraver. Lane Zulke, and you can go on to grs.com or Steve Lindsay, airgraver.com. Steve Lindsay is another great one. That's actually the tool I'm using here is the Lindsay Airgraver. I also have the GRS set up as well. So here's a GRS setup hammer. Or if you don't have the money to start, because that does cost sometimes like a couple $1,000s to start that way, you can honestly go and use a hammer and chisel, and that's the old school way. I'm not great with hammer and chisel quite yet, so I do want to learn it a little bit more. It just takes time, man. Probably going to change the geometry on this graver bit. I'm kind of not super happy with the way it's performing right now. fogging up in my microscope. Whew. It's kind of humid and hot here today in Idaho, but yeah. Diego the Great, hammer and chisel. So yeah, hammer and chisel, basically, I'll show you. In essence, you get a part or a tool like this. You hold it, and then you get a small chasing hammer. Here's one, for example. This is one of my chasing hammers. You get a small chasing hammer, and in essence, you just hammer away. So that is one method, and it's the cheapest method. There are some beautiful, beautiful engravings out there done by hammer and chisel. It's just the method. You know, what's the saying? It's like there's a million ways to skin a cat. So that's one of them. Beto, thank you, appreciate it. Diego, yeah, and as far as like you need a small air compressor at least. I have a bigger one just because I don't like it to kick on during my lives. Just because it can get kind of loud if the compressor's constantly going. So I've got a bigger compressor for me. All right, let's go ahead and okay, there's one scroll, or what we call the backbone. And now we start with the leaves. The card guy, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Good thing there's a leaf there. All right, let's sharpen this up a little bit, guys. We're getting kind of dull on our graver. I do apologize for being kind of slow. I recently got injured, so I am working with one crippled arm, technically. So it's made me be a lot slower when it comes to the hand engraving portion. All right, we're definitely getting anti-fog on my microscope. We are fogging up. Sorry guys, I've got to clean this microscope because every time I've been on it now, I've been fogging up pretty good. The grit on that grinder is probably about a 10,000 or 20,000 grit, I think. Maybe even. It's basically called a diamond buffing wheel. And the only reason I have it used for is to literally polish the cut, the graver bit. You can find them on eBay. The most expensive ones that people buy are stupid expensive. They're like 80 bucks a wheel. I buy them on eBay for a little bit less. Some of the Chinese knockoffs, but they work pretty dang good anyways. All right, let's get back to it, guys. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, I do appreciate subscriptions. We are on the verge of finally being able to apply to get some monetization. I mean, I'm guessing I'm going to make like a cent or two, so I ain't planning on getting rich off this. Still not happy with my angle, so we're gonna shallow the angle out on my wheel. Those are just accents going inside the scroll. This one on the back end will make pretty long. Awesome. So as you can tell, that's a bright cut, and that just gives it some gleam. We're going to keep this pretty simple as far as the scroll work goes. So we'll move on to this next one right here. If you're just tuning in, guys, we are hand engraving a flare cut into a 1911 slide called La Ultima Cena, which basically means the Last Supper. This has been lasered in. This is not hand engraved right here. We are hand engraving in the scroll. Hopefully one day I can be good enough to do this, but as of today, I would not feel comfortable going in and trying to do this without first drawing and shading it in on a computer. All right. Awesome. What is that? Ian, I hope not. Man, I think we've gotten a little far past what art was and has always been. You know, gun engraving, firearm engraving has been around for centuries. You know, and prior to gun engraving, there was, you know, you'd engrave your arms. So swords would get engraved, all sorts of things. So this honestly, it's actually funny. Most of the stuff that I sell, I end up selling to law enforcement officers. They love it. I'm not a fan of how that one came out. All right, we're gonna chisel out pretty hard, then round it in, and that should, there we go. That fixed that. Ian, so it just depends on the amount of work. Something like this actually isn't going to cost an insane amount usually for people. I can't really talk prices when it comes to this kind of stuff, just because YouTube policy. I will say that I try to make, I try to make about a livable wage here in America at about $50 an hour, to try to make it worthwhile. Does that always happen? No, I've gone. I've basically paid people to take my work, which kind of is sad at the end of the day, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I shoot for about $50 an hour. Whether I hit that or not, it just kind of depends. And I usually don't charge $50 an hour on something like this today because, I'm doing YouTube live and taking my time. I don't think that's fair to my clientele. Although I know that a lot of the clientele do appreciate when their pieces have video work that goes with it, so they can actually see how their piece was created personally versus some of these other factory stuff that comes from the factory. Like, you don't know where it came from. There's no personal touch to it. I'm trying to create art for people. Bandman, I actually don't mess with the Glock slides. I'm not a big fan of Glocks when it comes to engraving them and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I use them all the time, and they're reliable, but I just don't I don't hand engrave the Glock skis. I like to stick to the classics, 1911s, high powers, revolvers, lever actions, stuff that you'd think about putting up on a mantle or showing it off. Hopefully that makes sense. Guys, I'm just going to say thank you again if you're tuning in, for watching, taking some time, whether it's, just passing through and subscribing, or whether you're on here for a little bit. I am on the verge of breaking the threshold for YouTube to allow me to try to apply for their program. Whether they'll let me do it or not, it's kind of up in the air, especially with the art form that I've chosen here. Some of them, unfortunately, corporate and stuff might be against this kind of art. But at least you guys are giving me the opportunity to hopefully apply for it and maybe get it. So thanks again, guys. All right, I'm debating on what I'm going to do here. Grab a marker and show you kind of, guys, what I do as far as planning stuff out. Maybe if I can find my marker. All right. And I have multiple markers that don't even work. There's one that works. All right. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. So I'm looking at filling in this space right here with something to kind of give it some pizzazz and some growth. So it's not just dead space. I'm just trying to debate on what I'm going to do. Could do that, and then on a small one all the way from the root. Maybe I'll do that. Okay. Yeah, we're actually going to go outwards. And then that's what we'll do. Okay. All right. Now I go back in with my tungsten tipped metal portion. We're going to grow it from here. It's just going to be a leaf coming this way and growing from there. There we go. And ultimately a small flower coming from the middle. So that's what we'll build off right there. Ian, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for the subscription. Again, guys, I try to do these lives every other day if I can. I've been slow because, well, after tearing a pec, it kind of sucks and can't really do much. So that's why I've been out and out for a little bit. All right, let's see where we're going to start. I think we're going to start from here. Okay, we got to flare it hard. Start cleaning it out. Boom. Creates the first divot. Now it can come from the backbone. Flare hard. Cut into it. Jack out. Awesome. Creates that little leaf on that backbone. Bandman, gold plating. Yes, I do gold plate. Excuse me, guys. Something's been going around here. I'm getting a little bit of a stuffy nose. I do gold plate, but I don't usually do it just for gold plating. It's usually my stuff personally. I highly recommend Utah gold plating. He's a good friend of mine. Oh, God. Let me blow my nose, guys. Got more. All right. All right, where are we at? Okay. takes care of that. Now we've got to take care of that middle flower. It's the first gouge. Now we go with the backhand on this other side. And the second backhand. We're gonna afterwards. We'll hit this with a very light buffer, but nothing really polishes. So yeah, let's just so I didn't show you what it looks like right there. We're getting there, guys, slowly but surely. All right, we're good there. We're gonna build off of this side right here as well. So let's get going on that. It's too big. We gotta go with the other. I don't like how that looks like right there. Okay. Let's do that. Go up from there, which allows us to go from here. Create that, and then this scroll can grow from there. Awesome. Alejandro, I do both. So I'll sell entire pieces already completed for people, and I'll also, take on custom jobs depending on what people want. I don't take on every custom job. It just depends on, is it something that I see a vision for? Is it something that I really enjoy? Is it something that I'm going to love doing, and that I'm going to be proud of at the end? If I can't see myself being proud of it at the end, then I usually won't take it. Um, I just like to take pride in stuff. Okay. All right, we're going to grow. Become the border. I am not happy with how that flare turned out. So we're going to actually add a flare right there. We start to mess with the curve here because we're on the top portion of the slide. I don't like how that curved. Let's go ahead and try this. We gotta move this, and then we'll get that done. Go. Guys, thanks again for tuning in. We're just working on this 1911 slide. There we go. Looks good. Corey, no, actually, man, I started out with laser, oddly enough, and then laser wasn't tickling my fancy, so I moved to a pneumatic hammer hand, and then I've been learning a little bit of push and hammer and chisel. Hammer and chisel is actually really fun. Oh shit. Nope, that's not what I thought. And that's a mistake. That's a rookie mistake. Don't do that, guys. You want your work to be absolutely planted firmly. All right. Just look at this. All right, let's get these main scrolls done out of the way. It can be hard. Just depends on the slide and what kind of steel they've used. Stainless is always hard. This is just mild steel that's been polished. And then we'll go in at the end and polish it a little bit more. Get rid of some of these micro scratches. All right, guys, let's get the other side. So we did the backhand. Let me make sure that my chisel looks nice and sharp, polished, good. Awesome. Okay, we've got that backbone complete. Let's get the other backbone done. So as you see these swirls, guys, just so I'm kind of hopefully teaching some of you guys, if you guys don't know. Again, I'm not a master engraver by any means, so there are much better engravers out there. But this is your backbone. So this is a spiral backbone. From this is where you build your leaf system. And as Lane Zulke had recommended to me, because I was trying to make really complicated engravings, it's the KISS method at the end of the day. It's keep it simple, stupid. The simpler the leaf or the amount of leaves you have, the cleaner your engraving will actually look at the end of the day. Here's one of Lane Zulke's examples for his bordering and some of his stuff. Beautiful work that he does, absolutely beautiful. But yeah, I mean, this is the bordering. You can also use it for engravings itself, but you just keep it simple, and we create backbones, and then we create our leaf system inside. Robert, no, it won't be my personal one. This will go up later on for auction. Um, this is an art piece that I had in mind, and where this is my canvas, this is kind of what I'm gotten with. I do have a personal one, and believe it or not, my personal ones actually aren't engraved. I tend to sell my art pieces off. You know, if I want my art pieces to ever be, I like them to be admired and cherished, and so usually pieces that I create, I end up selling off so that somebody can, you know, pass it on through their family as like an heirloom. And all right, one last flare. Right there. Beautiful. So we've created our backbones. Nathan, I mean, yeah, you could daily carry. You could use it all you want. It's a functional piece of art at the end of the day. Um, Now, whether you'd want to do it often, I don't know why you'd want to, but yeah, you can. Yeah, I mean, these are pretty, like, it's pretty durable, honestly. Some people they always tell me, like, oh, I could never have something that nice because I could never use it or have it. And to me, it's kind of weird, you know, it's like, okay, well, you know, most people carry around a cheap $200 pistol anyways, so what does it matter? But if you want to carry this around, totally fine. Obviously, depending on your state's legalities and all that jazz. All right, guys, so let's create our leaf system. We're going to do the same similar leaf system as this other one right over here. God, I suck at backhand cut sometimes. Ugh, got in my way again. Air hose. Nathan, yeah, I mean, man, everything's gone up. You know, some of the cheaper stuff, or you know, some of these Colts and stuff that you used to be able to purchase for $700, $800 are now worth close to 5 Gs. Some even worth more. I was looking at high powers that were hand engraved because everything's laser engraved nowadays. If you have a high power that was hand engraved from Browning, you're looking at about having a $5,000 to $10,000 piece. Insane. Let's see. Sorry, guys, I'm slow because I'm under the microscope above the phone camera. But let's see. This is the Lindsay art graver, so the air graver right here, the Steve Lindsay air graver. I do run a GRS as well, and I have a pulse graver too. I've kind of tried all the systems. I found that I like how much air this one uses and how it feels. It really does feel nice. The GRS is more powerful, so whenever I want to go with super deep engravings, I go with the GRS rather than Steve Lindsay, but I really do enjoy the Steve Lindsay quite a bit. Terry, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Guys, if you guys would like to subscribe, please subscribe. I do appreciate it. It helps me out quite a bit. We're on the brink of finally being able to apply for the monetization portion of YouTube. Whether or not they'll approve me because of my art form and my style, I don't know. But it's worthwhile. Worth the try, right? Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate it. All right. Let's keep going, guys. Oh man, awesome! Glad that you're streaming in from Kosovo, man. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's look. Gonna feed from here. Pretty aggressive backhand cut, so we're gonna have to go from here. Clean up this back side of it. I caught part of it, and that's fine. It gives it a gleam. It's just let's see, Garibaldi. Garibaldi. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, you want to learn the art form first for sure. So, drawing. People before you ever engrave, I would say, learn how to draw this. Understand some of the basic rules and concepts, and you can honestly go far with that. All right, we'll add some accents in there. Nothing crazy. Great. Awesome, guys. Okay, so I've actually got to get going on some gold plating of some of the parts for a client. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you again, guys. If you guys haven't subscribed, please feel free to subscribe. We'll be working on this whole week. So if you see me pop up, it's likely because we're working on this this piece called La Ultima Cena. This is a personal or a personal art piece that will be going up to auction eventually. But right now, there's nothing no monetization or nothing like that. It's just just creating some scroll and stuff for it. So thanks again, guys. Until next time, please keep drawing, keep creating art, keep engraving. Love you all, and peace.